Welcome to Let's Play episode 10. Look at this, this is great. We've got over 1,000 chests down here, all placed down ready for our storage system to be done. This is part 2, by the way, of our Skyscraper build. On the outside, not a lot has changed, to be honest. We've built the back up right to the top, and we've done some work on the sides. But today's episode is going to be on the redstone systems and the sorting systems for our storage, so it's going to be good. As you can see, this looks like a battlefield out here. I've been doing a lot of nighttime hunting, and creepers have caused a hell of a lot of damage. So next week's episode is going to be a mob farm, which we're going to actually have in our Skyscraper, but that'll be for next week. But this storage system, it is huge. I mean, I've lost count. We've got about 70 or so different items in here. 1,000 single chests were put in. It's going to be massive. I mean, each item is going to store up to 7 double chests. So we're never actually going to fill this. This is going to be great. So today we're going to be doing the sorting systems and the redstone. But we've got a floor in as well. I love this floor. It's just something a bit quirky. It's circular. It needs to break up a huge area. And if we go around the back here, you'll see that I've moved our ovens in. It's completely for show at the minute. There's not one hopper. There's not one bit of redstone in here. So this sorting system will do absolutely nothing. But by the end of the episode, we're going to have it up and running, and we're going to connect our iron farm, this is the tunnel to our kill chamber, and we're going to connect it with these hoppers all the way through to our sorting system. So when the iron golems get killed, they're going to go straight into our sorting system, straight into the iron chests. So we don't have to actually collect from this iron farm at all. It's all going to be 100% automatic. It's going to be great. Now, I've never tried it before, so I don't know how it's going to work. We'll connect it up to the back here somewhere and get it all filtered through. So yeah, today we're going to have to start with our redstone systems. Now, I've never done a circular storage system before, so we're going to have to be a bit creative. If we have a look in that ender chest, you can see all the stuff that we're going to need. We're going to need a lot of hoppers. I mean, for 500 double chests, we're looking at about 600 to 700 hoppers that we're going to be using in this. And we're going to need a load of comparators, a lot of repeaters, and a lot of redstone as well. Also, we're going to need our filter blocks. These are just any block which you rename in an anvil. Now, if you've seen my episode on our smaller sorting system, you'll know exactly how to do that. If you haven't, go back and watch it, okay? It'll explain the whole thing in greater detail. And we're going to need a lot of redstone too. Each item's going to need at least 3 redstone. So yeah, we're looking at a couple of hundred there. We're going to take our ender chest, our spare one, and we're going to go around the back with it. Now, if you looked at my YouTube short for ender chest, you'll know that if you have one ender chest with stuff in it somewhere else, and then you put a second one down, it'll all be in the second one too. And we've also dug a new mine. It was the easiest mine shaft I've ever dug. I think I dug down about 20 blocks, and then I came across this huge cavern. And then once we got to the bottom of the cavern, I think I only had to dig down maybe another 12 blocks, and we were down at bedrock. So it was the easiest one I've ever had to build. And down here, we're just going to set up a strip mine, and just, mine 1 block, miss 2, mine 1 block, miss 2. That way, you actually manage to see every single block that you mine against, so you won't miss any materials at all. Yeah, if we go back up, when I was digging down the first dozen blocks or so, and this just dark hole appeared where the cavern was, because obviously there was no light down here. I didn't know how deep it was, so I just kind of jumped thinking, well, how deep could this cave be? And then I fell down 40 blocks or so, and my heart was in my hands there, and I thought I was a goner, but luckily I actually landed in the water, so we survived. Right, so if we start off with our redstone systems and our hoppers, if we take a load of hoppers and some redstone, and we'll take the comparators with us and things as well, And I've actually mapped one out just for you to see right around the back here. The best way to think about it is the very top chest. Doesn't matter how tall or how small it is, the very top chest. If you start a T shape with a tail, that's the kind of shape you're going to need for this system. And then the rest of the chests just have a hopper attached to them. Okay, but we'll go through that in a second. It's pretty simple, really. Once you've done it once or twice, you'll know how to do it every time. I'm not quite sure how we're going to go around corners with this, especially a circle, but we'll try our best. But if you go up a little bit, you'll notice that the very top hopper points in towards the comparator. So every single hopper has to go into the back of a chest, apart from the top one, which has our filtration system in it. That's where the filter blocks come in, and the blocks that you want to sort comes into it as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to build one of these just to show you how it's done, because it's a lot harder trying to build one full thing at a time. What I prefer to do on big builds like this is just start at the very bottom block, do all the bottom blocks right the way around, and then go up to the second block and do the same, and then work all the way up to the top. It's a bit harder having to do it this way, just one course at a time, but I'll do it just to show you how it's done, and then I'll go away and do the rest off camera, because I have no idea how long this is going to take. It's going to be hours, really, and you don't need a 3 or 4 hour tutorial on how to repeat redstone systems 70 times. But if we just place hoppers onto the back of all these chests, and you have to duck down when you're doing this. Of course, that's in the way. Duck down when you're doing this so you can actually place the hopper, otherwise it'll just open the chest. And do it from the back, because, like I said, the way that you point with these hoppers is the direction that the materials is going to flow. So just bear that in mind when you're placing hoppers. But the hopper placement on the storage system itself, on the actual chest, is pretty simple. And if we just build this T-shape with a tail, best way to remember it, and then we'll just go up to the top here. We're going to put a comparator down, so what we want to do for this is go right to the back, turn around, and the comparator needs to be facing away. And then we place a hopper into the back of that comparator, so that the cursor has to be right on the back of the comparator, so the hopper is leading into the comparator, so the comparator can check out the signal for anything going in it. This is how it works. Then 3 bits of redstone, 1, 2, 3, and then we just need to put our repeater down. So we'll get rid of a few of these. Now, doing it like this, the repeater is quite difficult, because the repeater needs to face in. Oh, hang on, we just need 1 redstone torch on there. The repeater needs to face in towards the chests, so doing it like this, one at a time, is quite difficult. If you're at the wrong angle and you put the repeater down, it will face the wrong way. That's wrong. So you want to go back a block and get the angle as tight as possible so that it's facing forwards, because what you want to do is bounce the signal back to the comparator so it repeats, hence the name repeater. Okay, and you just you repeat that over and over again around the entire thing. Well, just grab some cooked beef. Oh, we're going to need more than 8. Now we've got a stack of cooked beef, we'll put our 4 filter blocks in, 1 in each slot, and then put a stack of cooked beef in. And what you'll see is, like the other episode we did, that'll drop down to 41, and that's our filtration system set up. And the way it works is, material is going to go across the top of another row of hoppers, and the only thing that particular hopper will let through is cooked beef. And then you just need to repeat that for every single item. It's pretty simple, really, when you break it down. The hard bit is just doing it over and over and over again, right the way around. Okay, so I'm back, and I've placed a lot of hoppers down. This is pretty much every hopper that I've made to start with. 7 on each item, and we've gone halfway around. So I need to actually now repeat this with the redstone. But if you look carefully, you can see the hoppers lead into every single chest. Okay, be really, really careful with the placement of every single hopper in this build, because one hopper out of place will just ruin the whole thing. It won't work. If you've got one backwards or one off to the side, it'll just make a complete mess of it. So I just need to repeat this redstone system. Okay, so I don't want to tell you how long that took. We're not talking minutes, we're talking many hours. But doing the circle thing was a lot easier than I thought, because you just treat each chest as an individual thing, and it just goes back and keeps the same shape. That was pretty easy. But it was the time. I think this took me about 4 or 5 hours to actually do the whole thing. And yeah, we just need to actually put another row of hoppers on the top now, just to link all these hoppers together. But this is it, really. Just like the first steps I showed you, just repeated 70 times. Pretty simple, right? But yeah, I mean, if you look, we've done all these ones, and what I'm going to do is actually, just to make things a bit easier, I think I got about that far. Yeah, I got that far. I've put them in the top chest, a stack of each. And the reason why I've done this is when you're up doing your filter blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, you can actually just go in that top chest and get them out a lot easier. So you're not having to jump down and jump back up every time, and you're not having to keep a load of stuff in your inventory. Like, for instance, if I do it here, open up that top chest, I'll get rid of this. Open up that top chest, there's a stack of rail there. And this is the rail chest. So what we're going to do is put 4 filter blocks in, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then put our stack of rail in. Okay, now it's tempting. Yeah, it costs you a lot of materials to set up these filter systems. 41 of them are going to be permanently in here. It is tempting to put 5 of each, or 10 of each filter block in, but it will break. 1 of each. Okay, so yeah, we've done the whole thing. We've managed to put our filters in for every single item now, and we need to get it working. We need to attach it, and we need to attach all these separate redstone systems together via hoppers, so that our materials can move around from the start chest, the input chests, all the way around to the waste chests, where we're going to put things that we haven't put into the sorting system, so they don't get clogged up. So if we go up the top here, and what we're going to do is go right round to the very end, because we're going to have our input chest going into here, and then we're going to have hoppers going right round, all the way around this build, every single one. This is where the extra 100, 200 hoppers comes in place here, with all the extras that we're doing, because 70 items, it's a lot. So right, okay, so we'll put temporary block in, and we're starting at the back end, because as you remember, as I've said before, the way that you face when you're placing these hoppers is the direction that the materials are going to flow. So you need to start at the end. So we're going to place some hoppers right over to our last item that we're going to have sorted, and then we're going to turn around the corner and go back. Now, to get it to go to that one, we need to go 1 extra, turn around the corner, and then put another one on the top. Okay, so always face the direction that you want this material to move. And it's just a bit like a train track. It goes from one hopper to the next to the next. And the hoppers with nothing underneath them, it won't fall out, it won't fall down. It'll just pass it on to the next hopper, so it will get round the bend. It's easy, straightforward with the straight sorting system. You just have a straight row of hoppers over the top to move your items, but this one's a bit more awkward, so we've got to be a bit more creative. So if we just line hoppers up all the way out here to join these two systems together, which is one of the bigger corners in this, we can get the materials to flow. As you can see, they're all pointing in the direction that I want them to go. And as long as you don't miss any items out, as long as you cover every single hopper in this system, it'll work perfectly. So I'll go and do that. Okay, so we're back again, and I've spent a bit of time doing that. This is the end. I've dropped these hoppers down from that temporary block that we just put in, and I've put them into our output chests. Now, the output chests will take items that we have not included within the system. There are nearly 500 items in Minecraft, and I am not doing it. I'm not doing a chest for every single one. You know, we've got 70, so it's a lot more than we're used to, but we're barely scratching the surface still. And that top rail, it goes all the way around, right round our entire system, covering every single hopper at the top, so that when the materials move, they get scanned by the hopper, and the relevant materials will go into the relevant, chests. Simple as that, really. If we go up and have a look, you see it's just like a train track. That's the best way I can describe it. One way only, and it goes over every single hopper in turn. And then we extend these out to here, where we're going to need to get the items up from our input chest into that first hopper. As you can see, you can turn around corners with these. And we've done, every single filtration hopper with our full stack and our 4 filter blocks. So it's a lot of work, I wouldn't suggest you do this build if you're just, a part-time player. If you love Minecraft and you want it a lot, give it a go. If you need something a bit smaller, go back to my, I think it was episode 5, where we did a 30-item L-shaped storage system. Okay, so if we go back around to the front, I want to run a quick test. We've got our input chest, which is not connected yet. We will connect that up with a column of water like we did in the episode 5. And then we've got our 2 output chests for items that aren't going to be included in this sorting system. Just to test it out with, to start with, we've got our first hopper here. This is where our input chest is going to be feeding into. And we'll pop our pick in. That will go around and be scanned by every single item sorter that we've got. And because we don't have a chest for diamond picks, it will eventually make its way all the way around and go into the output chest. And it's very nervous, waiting for it to come in. And there we go. Perfect. And just to show you that it works with items that we have included in our system, if we go to our golden nugget, we'll take a stack. In fact, no, we'll take all of them so we can see them coming in. And if we put them into the first hopper there, what will happen is it will go pass from hopper to hopper. And as soon as it hits that hopper with the items sorted for golden nuggets, it'll open that hopper and allow them to flow through. And because we've got all these chests stacked, it'll fill up the bottom chest first, and then when that's full, it'll fill up the second chest, and then when that's full, it'll fill up the third chest, and so on. So yeah, you've got a good bit of overflow protection on this. If you ever were to fill these right up to the top, all 7 double stacked, the items would simply just go around to the output chest. So you kind of you're safe with this. It's not going to break. So if we try it with the last item as well, some fish, we'll pop that in, and then we'll go back up to the fish chest, and that will go right round the whole system, and then that will identify it as fish and let it come through. Easy. But we need to get it into the top, so we need to go back to the back again and put a dispenser down and a hopper just to join up our input chest. And then we need to put a comparator away from the dispenser, a bit of redstone, turn the corner, a repeater, redstone, turn the corner again, and then turn the corner again. And then when we put stuff in there, that will fire it up and spit it out one by one. So we've used this system a couple of times. If you need a bit more of a detailed explanation on how it works, go back to our episode 5, okay? And now what we need to do is actually to build, if we just get this to stop, we need to build a little column for the water to go in. And if you've ever died in water, you know that materials float. And we're going to use that mechanic here to get our materials to go up to that top hopper and flow in. So we need to just fill in these holes that I've made. They were just temporary, so I could test the system and show you it's working. And then pop some glass down. And we just need to build like a fish tank, just above, leaving this dispenser open to the water, so that we can get the column going directly up from that dispenser. And you've seen this before if you're a subscriber on this channel, okay? And then we need to just fill it in with water, block by block. So now I've got some water. Okay, I had to nip away and get some water. We fill up the bottom block, fill up the second block, and so forth. Do not fill it up from the top, because you don't need running water going down. Okay, you need this water to be still, so you've got to fill up every single block as you go, right to the top. So if we just build up some more glass, because I've kind of gone too high, and just fill up every single block in turn. And that creates an area of still water where the materials are going to float upwards. And it's the easiest way, I think, that I've found to get materials up. And if you go right up, you need to go one block higher than the hopper. And then the last block of water is going to be put in the opposite direction to the way you want to flow, so that it all flows from the right to left. And we're going to need to put a slab or something in here, just to a slab or a bit of glass, whichever you want, just to stop the water from going too far. We only actually need it to cover one hopper. We don't need it running down like this and destroying redstone systems. So if I just have a glass, if I put a slab down, that'd be the easiest way. You can do it with a button, a sign, you can do it with a load of things. But there, a slab, and that's it, done. So that will raise I'll just put these back, hang on. That will raise the materials from our input chest. I'll just check them. Right, it hasn't caused any damage apart from the redstone, so we're good. That will raise the materials up from the input chest, and it will deposit it into that very first hopper, which will get the whole system working. I'll just fill this up again. There we go, all done. And it's worth checking these sometimes, just to make sure that they're all right. And that'll work nicely. That'll just go right up from the bottom and feed that first hopper. So it's perfect. Despite destroying a bit of redstone there. I'll just connect this back up as well. Hang on. Best laid plans. Helps if you think things through. Where are we here? Oh, okay. There we go. Right, so if we just pop something in here. We'll go back around the back. We'll just, fix that again. I totally forgot to fix that. Right, okay, let's try again. So we'll fix this system. 1, 2, 3, 4 bits. And then if we put them into our input chest. There we go. We'll go back around the back. You'll see that dispenser's spitting them out. They're floating in the water all the way to the top. And you can go as high as you want with these. You could go up probably 50, 60 blocks easy. And they would float all the way to the top. And then it'll go in that first hopper and enter our sorting system. So that's it, really. That's our system built. And you'll see that they'll appear in that redstone chest there. So if we try this again with the golden nuggets. This time we can put them in our input chest. Because let's face it, you don't want to be climbing 7 steps to put your materials in after you've been mining. You want to be able to put them on the input chest. And if you look up here, you can see they're coming all the way up that column, and they're going into that first hopper. So that's perfect, really. We'll go back around, and they'll appear here. So that's our system complete. I've got a few things to do. I've got to tidy up a bit. I've made a bit of a mess here and there. Get rid of these steps and rebuild the walls, etc. But yeah, that's it in a nutshell, really. Nice and simple. It looks complicated because it's so big. But if you break it down into its individual bits, it's not too bad, to be honest. So we're just about done for the day, and I'm just going to fire some stuff in here. Now, remember from episode 5, there's a few things you can't put in here because of the way we use the dispenser. You can't put buckets in because dispensers will just hold on to them. They will dispense the water and not the bucket. You can't put glass bottles in. Something very interesting happens if you put arrows in. It actually fires the arrows, so you'll lose them. And boats. Boats can go in, but they turn from an item into an actual boat when they hit water. So that's very interesting. They kind of get stuck. And eggs. Don't put eggs in because they turn into chickens and they get stuck up at the top. It's probably a good way to automate a chicken farm, actually. But yeah, if we go back up the top here, and we can actually have a look and see this working. We can see the blocks are passing through each hopper at the top. Okay, that's our rail hoppers that are taking everything from the input chest and the water feed, and it's passing them through. It's asking the hoppers underneath them if they recognize the item, and once they recognize the item, the hoppers underneath open up and let that item through. So we've got one last thing to do before we're done for the day, and that's connect our iron farm. I've never tried this before. I really don't know how it's going to work, if it is indeed possible. So I hope it is, otherwise I'm going to really embarrass myself. But yeah, we're going to link the iron farm feed, the hoppers, onto the iron chests. Now, I don't want to do it directly. It is going to have to go through the sorting system because we've got poppies going in there. We've got string going in there too from the cats. So I'm going to pop a hopper onto the bottom. That's the first hopper that the input chest goes into. And then I'm going to run them out this way to the little tunnel that we've made going through to our kill chamber. And then we're going to have another column of water going from the bottom of that to get them into that hopper. And that will get it into the system as a whole. If we go down here and we'll have a look, we've got a chest full. So I've brought a chest with me, and we're just going to empty this chest into this one really quick. I'll just speed this up, and we get rid of all these. I mean, this thing produces a lot of iron. I really don't know what I'm going to do with it. I think eventually I'm going to start building with iron. Just have iron blocks everywhere. So yeah, we're going to have to build a column of water just like we did up to that one there. I think. That one or the other one. One of the two. As long as we get it up there. It's all good. Yeah, the other one. That's it. So the dispenser is going to go right here. Right beneath my feet. So if we jump up, so the dispenser hole is facing upwards. And then we're going to place hoppers all the way through to the hoppers from our kill chamber, connect them together. So that'll link our iron farm to that dispenser, and you can see stuff coming in already. And then it's just a case of repeating what we did before. We need to dig out a bit just to put the redstone in. Same design as before, so if we dig out some of these blocks, I think if we do just enough for the redstone to go in, and we'll put our comparator down, and then one redstone dust, turn the corner for a repeater, one more redstone dust, turn the corner again, one more redstone dust, and turn the corner again. This is used a lot for Minecraft, this system. I use it for, like, you know, automated trash cans for dumping stuff into lava when I don't want it. And it's just working flawlessly. So we just need to build the water, but we're going to have to stop this for a minute because we've got a hell of a lot of iron coming through. We're not going to be able to beat the water field. We'll just get rid of that. That's it. We'll put that back later. And just the same as before, we'll just get rid of all this. And we're going to build up with glass and fill this up with water, just like the last one, to get our materials up to the hopper that is going to go into the first hopper of the input chest, and then that's going to feed into the other water column and then go into our rail system, which is then going to be identified as iron and then go into our iron chest. So it's quite a complicated thing, but it's so going to be worth it. You know, I've never had an iron farm connected directly to my sorting system before. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. I can't wait to see this working. So if we just make sure that we've got glass everywhere, we don't need to be damaging more redstone, but I'm awful at forgetting stuff. And the trouble with this texture pack is you can't actually see the glass. It's clear. I think with the vanilla pack you can actually see the pane of glass itself, can't you? But if we just fill up some water, and like I said, fill it from the bottom, every single block in turn. And hopefully if we've done it right, we won't get any spillage. And okay, it's getting pretty late at night, okay? I missed a block. So we'll fill it in with glass. There we go. And then go back and fix the redstone in a minute. So we'll try again. We'll fill this up with water. Yeah, we've done that one now. So one block at a time. Go up another block. And like before, we're going to go one block higher than the hopper so we can get the water to run into the hopper. But this time, I'm going to actually put a bit of glass, extend it out and put it on top of that hopper, and that will stop the water from overflowing. And it will just feed into that first hopper there, so this should work just nicely. So if we put a couple more buckets down, and the last one wants to go on that back wall so it flows towards the hoppers. Yeah, not a block, water. Hey, let me just take that out. Take that block out, put a chunk of water in, and that will work perfectly. So yeah, we've got 2 water raised systems, and we've got a whole load of redstone, we've got a whole load of hoppers, and this should work flawlessly, and it'll work automatically because our iron farm is within the 100 or so block radius of it needing to work. And anytime we're in this skyscraper, it'll just work perfectly. Now I'm going to have to fix that, aren't I? So I'm just going to take out a couple of these blocks and then rebuild that redstone system. Thankfully, it's quite simple. Just a few blocks out here, a few blocks out there. Now, redstone is one of the things that you can actually build with while stood on the block you're building it on. So you can actually put it down right by your feet. Perfect. And we'll just connect that back up around the back again. And we need to empty this dispenser before it'll work. So we'll take all these out. And then that will work now once we fill up these hoppers. So we'll just pop all this in here. And you'll see it going up the column. And this will sort out the iron from the poppies, from the string, and it will sort it automatically into its individual chest. So it's ideal, really. A lazy man's iron farm. You can see that's all going up there perfectly. So we'll go back round. I'm just going to pop all this. I don't need to, but I'm going to pop it all into these hoppers. This is going to be a big test. If it can handle all this, it will be reliable, and I'll be happy with it. Okay, so we'll just watch that feed in. I mean, it's quite satisfying to see this actually work. I just love the way this stuff floats up to the top. So sometimes dying in water, it does come in handy if it gives you ideas like this. And that feeds into that hopper, which goes into that hopper, which goes into that one, and then into that dispenser, and then it raises in. And both of these systems can be running at the same time, and it won't block up, because the hopper at the top will only let one item in at once. So that's ideal, really. And that's it. If we just go around to the iron chest, and I'll speed things up a little bit, and we'll watch this iron go in. So that's working perfectly, and that's it for this week. Come back next week because we're going to be doing a mob farm. It's going to be for XP as well as loot, so that's going to be great, and it's going to be in this skyscraper too. So if you've liked this, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next week.